Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Pixel Gadget here. Welcome to another Game Designer Plays. Today we're playing more COD Zombies, World at War Zombies, and I'm very excited to be back. I took a little break from the channel. I was tired, needed to relax, recuperate, but I'm feeling like my game designer analysis self again. I'm ready to talk about Shi No Numa. Just wanted to pause here and go over the little description. These little descriptions are great. I like how short they are. Maggot-ridden corpses, bug-infested swamp, hundreds of undead Imperial army. Choose your tactic and defend for your lives. Very nice. Short and sweet. You never want to make the player read too much in these here video games, okay? Also, if I press play, you can see that the button Shi No Numa is flashing. I like that. It's the only movement on the screen. Want to pause here. So this is a map. This is the first map that introduces our four iconic characters. Dempsey, Richtofen, Takio, and Nikolai. So, pretty cool. There's a lot of, like, firsts for this map. It's really interesting. One thing, the first thing I noticed about this map was there's no power, so that's cool. And I actually didn't get to look at this map when I first came in, but you can see it's got this perfect cross shape. The last map we looked at, Verrückt, had a, like, donut shape, right? There are a lot of advantages to the donut shape because the player can always, like, if there's a central thing in the middle of the map, they can always see it. In that map, it was like this kind of fountain, which was a stark contrast. Like, it was this marble fountain, right? It was a contrast in shape and color and vibe from the nightmare fuel that was that map, the asylum. This map, on the other hand, has a completely different approach. The player spawns in this central square building, and in each corner of the building, it has these longer areas. And we're going to talk about these areas because they're designed really cool. And there's a lot to go over, so I'm just going to get into it. But the general shape is almost the opposite of what we've seen before. And we're going to just get right into it. First thing, you spawn in. I don't move at all because I want to just see what the player sees when they first spawn in. Right off the gate, we've got the horror elements. The first thing I noticed was the dude hanging, which is my favorite horror element in games. I don't know, you know, call me a freak, okay? Call me a freak. I like hanging people. It tells a story. It's more interesting than just a bloody corpse on the ground. It's like, why is he hanging up there? It's just creepy and weird. And it's a perfect opportunity for movement in the scene because he's dangling. You can have him ragdoll a bit up there. I like go look at this guy. I'm like, what's he doing up there? Someone hung this poor guy. Okay. So I'm looking around. And first thing I notice is the color palette is way different. More yellows and oranges we got going on than Verrückt and Nacht and Untoten. Enemies are different. We got Japanese soldier zombies, but the general look is the same. Orange eyeballs. The old eyeballs, I think, were yellow, so they chose orange, I think, and the glowing is honestly a lot less. I think they chose orange to match the map more. Looking around, find this radio, find I can interact with it. Very cool. Some of these radios have some narrative stuff going on that I think is pretty cool. Like some soldiers saying, we're overrun, the zombies are, you know, great. I like that. Very minimal for this map. Also noticing the vibe is, of course, completely different. Way more foliage right out the gate. We got trees everywhere. We're in a tropical place. Like that a lot. So the vibe is completely different. A lot of contrast going on just between the maps, which I really appreciate. And I actually do have some criticisms of this map. You know, they were experimenting. This was when Treyarch or Activision were experimenting with the zombies formula. They were definitely playing around, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't. And so there are some things about this map that I actually don't like, and I don't think I would put in a game that I would make today. So, first thing I noticed when I'm moving around here is the lighting. I saw some God rays. God rays are when, you know, like the sun is coming through the sky and there's these, you can actually see the light. I don't know if you can see it over there, but behind these zombies, and I was like, where's the light coming from? Well, it's coming from below. Definitely some artistic liberty there. They just wanted to have some, like, light pouring into the room. There's a bit of difference between the lighting philosophy. In the previous maps, the windows where the zombies would break in through were pretty much the only light sources from the outside. And there was contrast where the outside was like this orange and the inside was dark and gray and gloomy. Now it's all orange and well lit. This is what we call in the game designer business a signifier, the most basic signifier of all. Look up to see the light. But they keep it minimal. They keep it cryptic. If you were playing this map for the first time, you might not know what the heck is going on, but we explore that mechanic with the mystery box moving around. The first time in a map, the mystery box is moving around. I think that's pretty cool. And this room is kind of an example of maybe choice overwhelm. So we've talked a lot about how zombies maps are all about giving the player meaningful choices to make throughout the gameplay. Thompson, because the best gun for the early rounds. And in this big area, you're giving the player 4 rooms to go, directions to go in. And so that could definitely lead to choice overload, right? There's this thing in game design called heuristics, and a heuristic is how, it's like a rule of how the player navigates your game, how they make the choices that the game is giving them. And there's a kind of a rule in game design that when you give the player too many choices and not enough information, they will resort to randomness. They'll just choose whatever. And that's what I ended up doing, because I played this map plenty a long time ago, but I don't remember anything about this map, where the perks are, and we're going to get to that in a sec. Sound effects when I walk into barrels. Sound effects when I walk into crates. I really like that. I don't know why. I don't know if that's in other FPS games, but I have not seen that. Okay, here we go. Then I remember that this map gives you a random perk when you go to certain places in the map, and that's something I do not like at all. Too much randomness. I don't know. In a zombies map, I feel like you do want that predictability because the map is made for replayability. And randomness can be great for replayability in a lot of ways because you want it to be exciting each time, a little different each time. But the perks are so important, so pivotal to the player's strategy. I got a little screwed over. I didn't get jugged till the 3rd one. And I just feel like, I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a good design decision or a bad design decision. It's definitely hard to say. Clearly, everything else about this map is very amazing. I wanted to mention how... Oh, here's something cool that I discover. This is some narrative environmental design, like kind of the first of its kind with the zombies lore. There, I see this gigantic orange meteor, and because I know a thing or two about zombies lore, I'm like, oh, that's the zombie meteor. I guess it fell here from the earth, from the sky, and it's got the electricity, and it's contrasting the environment. The blue electricity just totally different from all the greens and oranges we got going on here. All the lime greens. No bright greens around here. All very drab, I would say. The color palette is fairly drab, which is par for the course with zombies. These open areas are always a problem for zombies maps because you don't want there to be too much open space, because then the zombies become way too easy to avoid. You can just outrun them. You can move way faster than them. The zombies, their whole strategy for getting you is numbers and zoning. They want to cut off your movement so they can corner you. That's the whole thing with the zombie strategy, right? Here we go with the random perk again. I get double tap. Not what I'm looking for. Looking for jug here. So what's their solution to it? Well, they have these water puddles that slow the player down. This is the first time we're seeing this mechanic in a zombies map, and it's been used a number of times. I don't even know how many maps it's used in, but it's used in a lot of them for these open spaces in order to make them less OP. And it doesn't, I don't think the water slows down the zombies. It only slows down the players. So it really disincentivizes you going in the water because you're just making yourself a sitting duck. Here I actually discovered the secret song. Did not look up a guide. I'm just goated like that. There was like a voice line. And then it starts the song. This song I've never heard in my life. I have never activated the secret song on this map ever before. So this is all exciting. This is all very exciting. And there's so much to go over in this map. I feel like I'm going to be missing things. Because as I was playing, I think I need to start taking notes as I play. Because once I make the recording, then I start recording just the commentary. I always forget what the heck I was going to say. There's so much movement in these maps, or in this map specifically. First of all, we got insects flying around, which is a new... That's a classic movement technique, but it's not used in a lot of games, like little bugs flying around. Some games will have moths or flies flying around corpses and things. That's really good movement. So some of the things this map is doing really good is the vibes are perfect. It's totally nailing the Japanese tropical forest, creepy horror vibe. It's absolutely nailing it with the color palette. Obviously, there's blood smeared everywhere. That's typical. But just, yeah, 115 right there. Nice little reference. Here's me just looking for things to walk into to make sound effects. I noticed that it's only a few specific game objects that when you walk into them, they make the sound effects. It's not like every time you walk into anything. And I like that. I think that's good because there is a problem with too much audio feedback. And that I'm going to talk about in a sec when I start getting in the waves of zombies. One of the really important things about the zombie sound effects is the noises they make are so important because when I'm defending, as the rounds get later, there I see a little bug there. Very nice. Here we finally get Jug, thank goodness. Find out where the MP40 is. Way too far from spawn. MP40 should always be in the second room or third room so I can get it. But we had to go for the Thompson. I was not a fan of this song, gotta be real. Not a fan. But you know, this is a perfect downtime to talk about today's video sponsor, which is my game, Doomsday Sector. So if you like Call of Duty Zombies, then you're probably going to love my game. So in my game, I know it doesn't look as cool. However, in my game, you kill robots who are coming at you. It's pretty much a COD Zombies clone. You may enjoy it. I've been working on it for a while now. It's going to get released in about a year. So I'm trying to get those wish lists up. Marketing is hard, okay? I am not enjoying marketing, getting this game out there. It's my first game that I'm going to be able to release, so I'm a little nervous about it. I'd like people to play it. I'd like people to buy it so I can prove to the people in my life that this career is viable, making games, doing YouTube and stuff. I don't know. It's been nerve-wracking. I think it's one of the reasons why I needed a break from making the videos because I was just so nervous about making this whole thing work and whatnot, talking about the game. That's why I switched to COD Zombies because I was like, well, I'm making a game that's like COD Zombies, so I need to find the COD Zombies players. So that's what we're doing here. That's why I'm making these videos. I do enjoy talking about game design. It's just... really, I'm trying to make this here career work. And I think my game is really cool because there's upgrades and stuff. A very deep upgrade system. I'm trying to find the clips of the... That was a crazy glitch right there. Every time this fat dude spawns, that's a portal opens to the temporal plane over there. That's crazy. So it's still in progress. This game is still very much in progress. So there's a really deep upgrade system. I think this is why my game is so unique. compared to other FPS games that are out there right now, other Zombies clones, is, yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can go into here to basically give your player all the upgrades he needs or whatever. Like, you can do a movement speed build, a reload speed build. Anyways, that's enough from our sponsor. Let's get back to the Call of Duty Zombies. I know that's why y'all are here. I just had to say that. I need to market the game. You know, I don't want to do it. I don't like it. I wish I could just be, oh, you know, YouTube person. No. Got to talk about this game I'm making. It's my livelihood we're talking about here. Anyway, so I've been stressed out. I've been nervous about that. So, sorry if that is disruptive to the video. You can always skip over it. You know, ain't nobody forcing you to buy my game or wish list my game. Back to this game. So, I think we got to skip ahead a bit because I'm running out of things to say. But I know there's more to talk about. Right, the dogs! Okay, so this is the first map that has dogs attacking the player. It happened for me on round 5. It seems to happen every 5 or 3 rounds, give or take. I wasn't sure. There in some Zombies map, if you kill all the dogs and don't get hit by any of them, you get a free perk. I don't know if this map does that because, well, I got hit every time. I tried my best. Okay, I can only be so amazing at this game. The dogs are awesome. I really like the change of pace. First of all, there's like an audio cue, and then this mist comes over the entire map to signify to the player, hey, something different's going to be happening. It creates that suspense, like, oh God, something terrible's about to happen. And then the dogs come. They have these amazing dog sound effects, these absolutely haunting, like, howling, weird sounds. I don't even know. The Zombies sound design is honestly on... Absolutely, it's insane. It's very good. A lot of detail. However, my one complaint about the zombie sound design is in the late rounds when you have a huge horde of zombies, their noises become insanely annoying. Like, crazy annoying. I can't stand it. I think, but you kind of have to leave the sound on because it signifies to you where they are if they're behind you. Because the zombies are always trying to get behind you, trying to corner you. That's the big problem. So the sound effects they make are actually critical to gameplay, for me at least. Like, when I was defending in this little area, they come from all directions. But this is the most open area of the map, so it was like, this is the best place to do the training. Definitely trying to... always be listening for the zombie sounds. They're very loud, very distinct. So you can always tell when a zombie's behind you. They're always making noises, screaming, whatever, making weird noises. I noticed a little later in the footage
I wish I could meet the chick who sang that jingle.
that when I make a crawler, they make very distinct different noises. I can't even, like some kind of gargling, like almost growling sound effect. Some nice birds there. Birds are always a good movement, and it you know, diegetically makes sense. I mean, if you got a bunch of corpses, yeah, the birds are gonna get hungry. Birds love meat. Zombie birds. Now that's what they should do. The next Zombies map, they should have a zombie birds attacking. I would like that a lot. I have not kept up with zombies in the recent years, the newest maps. I just have not had the time. I'm stuck in the past. I'm stuck in 2011. I'm sorry. I can't move past it. Yeah, I like the old stuff, but we will just keep playing zombies maps and some zombies clones as this series progresses. Game designer plays COD Zombies. I definitely want to play some of the zombies clones that are on Steam. There's some really cool ones, honestly. I'm surprised that more indie devs aren't making, like, COD Zombies clones. I'm really surprised because COD Zombies is so awesome, and there's so many cool things you can do with it. Like what I did in my project, I feel like it almost happened on its own. I didn't really I designed the game, like, 6 years ago. So I don't even remember what I was thinking when I made that whole upgrade system, but, yeah, it was... I vaguely remember I was trying to make it super addictive, right? At the time, it was supposed to be a free-to-play game, believe it or not. So,
This is gonna put
The mystery box is one of the coolest design things, I think, because it actually shows you the guns that you could be getting. Like right there, it shows the Wonder Waff. And so it's like you could have gotten this, which is always good, tempting the player, letting them know what is possible with the decisions they're making. So it's like you're giving the player information about the decision. I was posed with a very good decision right when I got in that bottom room there. It was like, do I go with the safe option and get the Thompson, or do I roll the box and try to get something? I am an experienced Zombies player, so I knew not to roll the box and do that. But there's just one last thing I want to talk about before I end this video. We're going to finish this footage, I think, next week because I want to make the video shorter. I don't want it to be long. We're at about 20 minutes here. And I don't think I mentioned this in any of the previous analyses, but this goes for all the Zombies maps, is the drops, like what is it? Yeah, like that. Insta-kill, sorry, I'm brain farting right now. Insta-kill, max ammo, nuke. No Carpenter. I did not get a single Carpenter in this map. Very interesting. I don't know why. There was only those three, and it's a really cool mechanic because in Zombies, your positioning and location is always ever important because you're trying to stay in the open. You're trying to keep the zombies, like a distance between you and the zombies. And when they drop a very powerful pickup right in the middle of the horde of zombies, the player's given a very meaningful choice. Do I risk my positioning? Do I put myself out of position to get this nuke or this max ammo or this insta-kill? Or do I just let it go away? And then it starts blinking like there's a time limit. Honestly, this game uses a lot of gambling principles. You know, limited time only. How many times have you seen like 90% off, limited time only? If you don't buy it now, it's going to be $1 million tomorrow. And this is like, you know, it puts the screws to people. And how many times, like, oh my God, I've bought things so many times because I think, oh my God, it's on sale only today. You know, then obviously it's going to go on sale like that every month, like clockwork. But in my mammalian brain, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is my one chance. I end up spending money that I don't have. Totally lame. But here I get a pretty good gun. This game is the first... I don't think it's like this in the other games. It could be where your movement speed is actually slowed depending on the gun you have. I don't know if it's just all the guns have the same speed and then the Browning has like makes you super slow. I don't know if that's how it works. And maybe it's like pistols you move the fastest, submachine guns. Maybe there's a gradient. I have no idea. I did not test it thoroughly. Here we go with the dogs again. I really like the contrast in the dogs, how they spawn in. They don't come in through the windows, right? They just totally invade the map with these, like, I guess they teleport in with this lightning electricity, which is nice, bright, beautiful blue. Contrast with the map, amazing. I think that's a really cool design decision, how they just, it makes things move faster. First of all, it gets the dog rounds go really quick because they run right at you. I like how big they are. They could have had them be normal dog size, which would be way too small and actually too challenging, right? Because they'd be kind of hard to shoot and low to the ground. Too low to the ground make it tricky. But no, they made the dogs really big, like 3 times as big as a normal dog, so they're easier to shoot at. I like that a lot, but they move really fast, and honestly, one of my complaints about the dogs is the feedback for shooting them is minimal. There's almost no feedback for hitting them. While with the zombies, when I shoot them, man, they fall apart. Like, I love the blood and guts. Look at it gushing. The pieces flying everywhere. But when you shoot the dogs, it's like, am I even doing damage to them? I don't even know. So those are that's my complaint about the dogs. I think I've talked about everything I want to talk about right now. We're about halfway through the gameplay. I'll make another video talking about the rest of the gameplay because there is more to cover. I'm just forgetting, honestly. But I think I covered as much as my brain can handle right now. This map is awesome. I really, really like the vibe, the direction Zombies is going in. I don't like the random perks, but that's just personal preference as a player. Maybe as a designer, it's brilliant. Maybe it makes the map so great. I'm not a zombies expert. That's, I think, the thing that's stressing me out about this new series. I got so good talking about boomer shooters, and now moving to classic COD Zombies, I feel like I'm still figuring out what to talk about, how to determine what makes a good zombies map, what makes a bad zombies map. I'm still figuring that out, so you guys are going to have to bear with me. It's going to take me a couple videos to kind of dial this in and figure out what to look for, really, and what to talk about generally, because I feel like if I play a boomer shooter right now, I know exactly what to talk about and stuff, but Zombies is a whole other beast. It's a AAA game, so I don't even feel like mentioning a lot of the little details, because it's just to be expected with a AAA game. You know, footstep sound effects on different materials, like just high fidelity environmental design. There's so much detail on these maps you will not see in an indie game. But yeah, I think the video's gone on long enough, and I'm just glad to be back to YouTube. Thank you all so much for engaging with the content. I really am grateful for this. We're doing it. We're making YouTube happen, building this here channel. So I hope you guys learned something new about game design or Call of Duty Zombies map design, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Goodbye.